Good morning. Welcome to e-commerce and welcome to our fifth class. Today we will talk slightly about different topic, the one that we're supposed to talk next week. The reason for this is very simple. Instead of just plainly showing you slides, I can actually show you step-by-step guide how to set up your search campaign. We know that our sixth class is basically on search engine marketing. So I will show you. I will share my insights and examples probably live already with you during our next class. But today, I want you to have this right approach on how to do what and when, and how to actually set up your campaign properly and enable all the features that are necessary right in that campaign. So for this, let's start. And now, instead of me, you'll be actually seeing my screen. And on the screen, give me a second. There it is. Okay, very good. So what do you see on the screen? On the screen, you see my MCC account. Basically, this is you can actually Google for MCC account. It enables you to have something that you usually do not have in standard, in standard AdWords account. It enables you to have multiple accounts under one umbrella account. So in this case, what I am doing, I can actually add or link existing accounts for my clients. Don't mind the amount of the accounts in this case, because this is basically a demo account for my students. But in this case, in this specific case, I can also do something that you are not allowed to do in standard AdWords account, because one AdWords account stands for one and only account, right? In this case, as it's an MCC, it allows you to have multiple accounts under one email. So I set this up as e-commerce class 5, right? Now the time zone, territory, and the currency. You should be noted that basically you cannot change your time zone and you cannot change your currency in the future. So once you set them up, they are to stay. Why is it important to understand the reasoning of time zones? Let's say that you do business in Lithuania. In that case, it doesn't matter. You set it up GTM +2. You set that your currency is euro, and you set that time zone country is Lithuania, and everything is fine. But if you set it like Lithuania and you're doing business somewhere in Malaysia, you have to understand that people are living on different time zones there, and your AdWords account will still show the ads from 12 o'clock in the morning, or either at night till midnight. And midnight here is not really midnight in Malaysia, or midnight here is not midnight in States. So what is a good practice? A good practice is if you have a country where you're running ads and the country is not exactly the same one as the one where you are staying, you should check that country. So if I'm running ads for Kazakhstan, I should properly check Kazakhstan and etc. Regarding the currency, there's been a debate. There are some people, including me, who try to play with the low volume or low value currencies. So let's say a very simple example is if you understand Lithuanian currency. Before euro there was litas, and 1 euro was supposed costed roughly 3.4 litas, which means that if you bid 1 cent, 1 Lithuanian cent, it would have been 3 times less than 1 euro cent. So toying with this, sometimes I tend to choose currencies like Indian rupees. Sometimes I tend to choose currencies like Yeah, basically I think that's or yens or yuans or something like that. The ones which have like, you know, many zeros when you divide them by €1, and still can be like, you know, played with. But this is only valuable when you are actually like, you know, spending, let's say, 5,000 to 7,000 euros a day. If you're not, then basically you will not really save a lot. So let's start. I click create account, and this is my account. This is what basically you will see in the very beginning when you create your first Google AdWords account, right? I will click, you know, create my first campaign, and at this point, you know, I will explain like, you know, several things. This is the feature that honestly I never use. Search network with display select, never, because if I want to run ads on display network, I select display network only. If I want to run ads on search network only, I select search network only. So what should you select? You know, select. First of all, as now we will be creating a campaign for search network only. For search network only, this is what we select: search network only, right? But one thing which you also like, you know, kind of should be noted is that you can also run banners, which is like, you know, display network only campaign. Or shopping does not really work in Lithuania. Videos is like, you know, that stands for YouTube ads. So if you want to promote your YouTube channel or your YouTube videos, this is where you can actually do that. Universal app campaign. This basically stands for if you have an application and want to promote that application, you can do this via here. So everything is like, you know, in one place, or very, very convenient. So now I click this search network only. And this is what you should do as well. One thing is which you also should note is that this thing, which I don't understand why, but by default, Google selects you a standard campaign, which is a limited one. It does not, for example, enable site links or many features that we will be utilizing in this class. And this is kind of just a feature. What exactly are site links? So clicking the new tab, I hope you see that one. So if let's say this one should work. Yes, okay. So if I add, you know, if I search for Aurimas, I see that, like, you know, this is the main text ad, and right below it there's like, you know, one site link, another one, third one, and fourth. So these 4 links, if you note in the very bottom, like, you know, if I clicked, for example, on the new collection of Aurimas, right, it would drive me to the new collection. This would drive me to the sale. This would drive me to the new products. This one to the bicycle, you know, features, and something about the wool. But basically, with one ad, with the side links and additional features, you can actually sort of bring in these clients to different sections of your site, which is not available if you select standard. Therefore, we select all features, and all features allow you sort of like, you know, to access all the features even afterwards, like, you know, when you set up this the campaign and the campaign name. One more thing. So there are probably 4 key components of any AdWords or any advertising account. So that's like basically campaign, ad group, then there are ads and keywords. So what exactly is the point of campaign? Campaign sets sort of the timing from when to when you want to run the campaign, and and it auto sets the budgets. Within the ad group, you set up the additional parameters, and add the ads which rotate within the ad groups. So you will get this, like, you know, through when we actually, like, you know, click step by step. So I call this my, like, basically we will be doing the household rentals campaign, and or Or let's make it easier. Let's make it like, rooms in Vilnius. Rooms in Vilnius, because we will be renting rooms in Vilnius with this campaign, right? So this is what basically, like, as we are renting rooms in Vilnius, if I would be like, renting rooms in Kaunas, I would be selecting like, I would be making a different campaign, like, the one would be like, renting rooms in Kaunas or something like that. So, but this one is rooms in Vilnius. Additional features, networks. So what exactly does this tell you? By default, it's clicked, and it includes all the Google search partners. There are many of them. Basically, I think AOL, even Yahoo, and different search engines, they implement, they are being partners of Google. And by this, when somebody is Googling, or not Googling, but searching for things on Yahoo, let's say, they can also see your ads. This is like, the key point of this, include search partners. Usually, some companies say, I want to advertise only on Google, therefore I uncheck it. But in my opinion, this is pointless, because, like, I want wider reach, and it doesn't matter where, like, the person is actually looking for my product. And that's even better if many companies are unchecking this box, because then it means if somebody is, like, searching for the room in Vilnius on Yahoo, they will not see their ad, but they will see mine. Therefore, less competition, like, for me, and better performance results. So what's next? Locations. So I know that some people, like, sometimes when you create your first campaign, you say, I want, like, to target all the world. Therefore, I clicked all the countries and territories. And this is a mistake. And this is a mistake because then everything is mixed. You have no idea, like, within the AdWords, where the people are coming from, what exactly, like, they are doing on like, where exactly, like, the ads perform better, if they perform better in Ethiopia, in Kenya, in Sudan, Somalia, Estonia, Latvia, or Sweden, because your ads are shown everywhere. So what I usually do, when I talk to the client, and when the client says that they want to run, let's say, in 5 countries, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, UK, and Lithuania. What I do, I always make duplicate campaigns. So basically, I always, like, check only one country as a location. And in some cases, if my client, let's say, is running ads only in Kaunas, for example, a very good example, like, of this is one case where, like, there's a basketball team, Žalgiris. And this basketball team is playing every Wednesday, and not Wednesday, every Monday, Friday in Kaunas. Therefore, the client wanted, like, to show the ads in Kaunas about sort of, like, to promote this feature that, like, you can have selfies with like, in Žalgiris basketball arena. So what I did, instead of, like, selecting Lithuania, I checked for actually basically Kaunas, and just added it. That's it. And once this one was done, instead of Lithuania, I had ads running only in Kaunas. But in this case, like, don't mind the example. We're running the ads in whole Lithuania because, like, we are advertising, like, the rooms in Vilnius, and probably the people who are looking for rooms in Vilnius are not really staying in Vilnius for now. So what's next? The languages, right? English, Lithuanian, Russians are the ones which are suggested by default if you decide to advertise in Lithuania. And I always, like, select these languages myself. If you want to add additional languages, let's say you want to advertise only to, like, people who speak Greek, or now what you have to understand is, like, how does Google identify which language you speak? Basically, this is done via your Google search interface, and if that's, like, in Lithuanian, then it says that you speak Lithuanian. If that's in Polish, then you speak Polish, and etc., etc., etc. What's next? Bidding strategy. This is interesting. So by default, Google says you or suggests you that, like, they can use, like, you can use automated bidding with the which maximizes clicks. To be honest, I tend to use that one as well. But if you use it, there's one crucial feature which you have to understand. If you do not set the maximal CPC bid limit, you will spend hundreds of euros a day because Google will be bidding like crazy, and you will not want that for sure. So let's say, what is the standard CPC click if you are bidding, like, for something that is not insurance or not loans, right? So that's if it's not insurance or if that's not loans, then the standard CPC is something like 10-15 euro cents. So this is what, like, we actually, like, said here. And if our ads do not show, because some keywords are more competitive, then we can always set more, or, like, bid higher and increase this bidding. Like, in this case, near the bidding strategies, there are more selections, way more selections, right? So this one is used mostly by the people who are very sort of who are willing to check their accounts on or not even, like, daily, but probably like hourly basis, and they want to, like, compete on the and they think, like, I know that by saving 1 or 2 cents you also make money, but well, you can also probably look at the bigger picture, and sometimes you will save 1 euro a day, but you will you can actually spend that time optimizing your other accounts or expanding the keywords or something like that. So manual CPC bidding is well, but automated one, I mean, I trust it, honestly. What's next? This one is the one which eventually in the future, or target CPA, is the one which eventually in the future you will want to use. So, but you cannot choose it like from the very beginning, because there's no AdWords account history. So what does this target CPA means? It's like cost per action, right? So let's say that for every item that you sell in your eShop, you make about you're not like even income, but your profit is 5 euros, right, at this point. So what you can do, your target CPA in this case, if you want to be still profitable, but this profitability does not really matter to you, like if that's like 1 euro profitability or 3 euros profitability, because anyway you make the sale, right? So this target CPA, it allows you to sort of it checks your account history and sees, like so if your conversion costs you like 1 euro or 2 euros or 5 euros or something like that, and then it can suggest you that, so okay, we have accumulated this history, this audience of the people that are looking for products that you are selling, and now we can actually start, like suggesting you to basically run the campaign with kind of unlimited budget, where you know that in every single case you will be making money, because if your profit is 5 euros and your target CPA, let's say, is 3 euros or 2 euros, and you're selling, then with every single item that you sell for you get 5 minus 2 or 3, that's anyway additional profits. So target CPA is good, but that's like somewhere in the future. In the beginning, we start with basically the automated campaigns which basically might maximize traffic for clicks. This one is also very important. So budget per day, it doesn't have to be like 5 euros. You can like set it 30 euro cents or 20 or whatever amount, but I usually like tend to set 1 euro at least, unless for some reason you think that there's no point in that. What else? Delivery methods. This is by default, like, by default, Google suggests you, like, selecting standard delivery method, and there's also accelerated one. So do not use accelerated one unless you want to spend all your money like in a couple of hours or minutes even, because standard delivery method distributes your, let's say I have like 30 cents per day, right? Or let's make it €1 because then it will be slightly easier to explain, like, you this concept. So I have this maximum CPC bid limit, like, which is 15 euro cents. And let's say, like, I participated in the morning and free auctions, and I managed to, like, to get or to win 3 clicks to my site. And each of them costed, like, first one costed, as this is a maximum CPC bid limit, it doesn't mean that I will be actually paying 50 cents. Because the automated or like maximize for clicks bidding strategy, it does not, like, bid the maximum possible every single time. Right? It bids kind of, sort of rationally. So potentially in the morning I will have, like, 5 clicks for like 10, 12, sometimes 8 cents each, and then if I set accelerated, I might run out of like, budget at 11 o'clock in the morning. But if I want to participate daily in all the auctions and want to sort of avoid people which are just Googling probably, like, competitors for my keyword and just clicking on it, so in that case I set the standard delivery method, and I distribute my ads evenly throughout the whole day. What is next? Ad extensions. We'll talk about them slightly more when we actually create them, because I will show you a better and easier way to actually, like, set them up. Now the advanced settings. Schedule, start date, end date, and scheduling, right? So if you do not select the end date, by default, it will never end. So it will end. It will run out when you when your credit card, like, is expired, or when you run out of money in your credit card. But theoretically, if your credit card, like, has no expiration date, then basically the ads will run forever and ever and ever. The good thing is also that there's the start date, right? So what I sometimes do for some of my clients, I create the Christmas campaigns. So you can actually do that already today. You can create your Christmas campaign now, and you can set it up, like, for start simply what, December 20th, I think, right, or December 15th, and end date would be, like, January 2nd or something like that. And this is basically, you can make it, like, for Valentine's Day and run every year for some kind of special dates that you have there. Then additional feature, ad delivery or ad rotation. But in this case, if you select none, then it will run forever and ever. If you have a target date when you want this, like, to end up, you just click it here and let it set it here. Now, ad delivery and ad rotation. Okay, this one is also is the one which is kind of neat, but the one usually which everybody is doing is rotate evenly or rotate indefinitely. One of these two ones. This one was the standard one, optimized for clicks. There's one problem with that. Let's say you have 3 ads, and in 3 days, Google sees that one of them is performing better. So what it does, it starts showing that ad more often, and you will end up having no idea if that ad was just basically, if it was better because the weather was, like, just crazy for the other ads, or if that's some additional, like, reasons for that. So it will not be a statistically significant comparison. Therefore, what you should do, you should either, like, set your ads run evenly for at least 90 days, and then it will start optimizing them, or rotate indefinitely. And this rotate indefinitely is the one which I love to choose myself, because well, there are like a couple of reasons. One of the reasons is that, like, in many cases my clients never run campaigns for more than 2 or 3 months, and then they will have something new, something special, and then we have to learn based on what we were doing. And second reason is that even if I have seen that, like, for 90 days there are, like, there's 1 or 2 ads which are running better, I anyway will still be testing. It's not like, in 90 days that one ad is awesome and the other 2, like, suck, so you keep showing one ad. No, like, you add additional new ads which are either similar or not to the one that's performing better. So in my case, that's rotate indefinitely. And for now, let's save and continue. And just to understand what the hell, sorry for that word, we actually just did, I will scroll down and click cancel the new ad group. There's a reason for that. You don't have to do that every single time you do this, but remember when I told you about the structure of the account? So now we created the campaign, which is like, rooms in Vilnius. If we go to settings right here, we will see that basically these are all the settings that we set, like, English, Lithuanian, Russian, budget one day, maximize for clicks, bidding strategy, etc., etc. All the parameters that we set up are here. And the good thing is that you can always change them, because it's your campaign, it's not Google's. Like, the only things that you cannot change in your account are your currency and your timing zones. All the other things are changeable. So this is a good thing. So what can you do now in this case? Okay, I made a mistake because I went back to my MCC. So what can you do now? Okay, this is how basically, like, it looks when you click on the campaigns tab right here. So you can either click, or sorry, like, make duplicate campaigns based on that structure, and but we'll do that later on. Or in this case, we go deeper within the campaign and we create the ad group. So now we go to the point where we canceled, like, the process, right? So now I click on click additional or add additional ad group, and I name it. So we're running, like, this campaign is what, rooms in Vilnius, right? So now this is going to be rooms in Old Town. Sorry, I didn't have, like, my pre-made rooms. Vilnius, just for €5 per person. And special offer. Okay, Old Town rooms, Vilnius just for €5 per person. Special offer. What kind of special offer can we have? A special offer, free Wi-Fi. Free Wi-Fi until Saturday, right? So basically, in this case, I have, like, Old Town rooms, Vilnius just for €5 per person, special offer, free Wi-Fi until Saturday, right? And display URL. I'm not saying that this is a very creative copy. You know, you will make more creative ones yourself, but for the class reasons, this will work. You should also note that, like, you know, once as I typed in my display URL, Google started, like, you know, suggesting social networking tools and other things. Once you know, if you add, like, you know, different URLs, it will show you suggest different things, but we will not be using them here. What the only keywords that I want to use now, I will add 2 keywords, is, like, you know, old town room in Vilnius, and room in Vilnius, or cheap room in Vilnius. Right, cheap room in Vilnius and old town room in Vilnius. Once again, there are, like, you know, 3 buttons: set up and continue to billing, set up billing later, and cancel your new ad group. One thing which you should not do is you should not click that one, because then we'll go exactly to the point where before. If you want to add your billing information, you are welcome to do that now. If not, then you can just basically click that, and it will save your ad group, and you will proceed. So now what we have the campaign, and within the campaign we have 1 ad group, right? Basically, and we also have 1 text ad within this ad group. One thing we should note is that basically currently we have, as I mentioned, only 1 ad, right? So let's make additional ads. There are two possible options for them. One is, like, you know, click on the red box here and make this, like, you know, additional text ads. Another one is when you do something like this, and this is a far better option. Like, you know, you copy an ad and make a copy of it, right? So one of them is what old town rooms. Then it's just not for €5 per person, and let's make it, like, you know, special offer, free coffee, right? Make sure see that like, you know, see that mark, right? So basically, you can do several things within AdWords that you should know. So first of all, do not use like, you know, multiple exclamation marks and multiple question marks as well. But you can use, like, you know, one of them per text ad, and because, well, this is just basically sort of a friendly way of saying, please do not try to ruin the experience of people who are searching for things on Google. So now what we did, we made a different copy of the same ad, and it's right there, right? So this is the first one, this is the second one, and let's make a third one, because the good practice is to have at least, like, you know, 3 ads in each ad group. So we have, like, you know, old town rooms, Vilnius, just €5 per person, special offer, free Wi-Fi until Saturday. So let's forget the special offer. Let's give you, like, you know, let's make it a 50% off until what? Until Wednesday, or not? Let's make it up. It's like, no, extra pay free Tuesday. Once again, like, you know, I have to, I should check the thing that you should know is that basically there can be, like, you know, 25 symbols on the headline, 35 on the description line, and 35 on this one description line. So try to be creative and fit it into those, like, you know, 35 symbols. So what's now? Now we have created our first search campaign. It has, like, you know, 1 ad group, and it has, like, you know, it has what? It also has also has, like, you know, some keywords. But there's one problem, in this case. And this problem is the keyword, not the keywords as they are, but the type of the keywords that we set. And actually, I said it intentionally, so we can actually have this discussion now. The problem, like, with these keywords is this one. It's a broad match keyword. And it means that if somebody is looking not only for cheap rooms in Vilnius, but for also clubbing in Vilnius, or cheap dormitory, or cheap router, or cheap monitor, or how to get a room in Slovakia, it will show the ad, because any of these keywords qualify for somebody who is searching for things within the target region where you have set the campaign for, right? So what I usually do, I use either phrase or exact matches. I love exact matches. I mean, like, in my case, in my opinion, they are the most reasonable, because there are not really that many keywords that people tend to type in when they look for certain products. And when you're looking for cheap rooms in Vilnius, you're not really looking for, cheap one bed, double Wi-Fi, triple coffee machine room in Vilnius. You're Googling for cheap room in Vilnius, or cheap stay in Vilnius, or something like that. And therefore, this is what I usually do. Like, I love setting exact matches. The reason why I like them is because it sort of narrows the search. If somebody is looking for a phrase in a different, like, way, or if they are adding new words to it, I don't get these people. This is a problematic thing. Therefore, there's one way of sort of working around and catching all these users. So now we have this, like, cheap rooms in Vilnius and old town rooms in Vilnius, right? So the person is looking for these two keywords. The problem with them in this case is that I think would be better that if we also had, like, cheap old, and I will explain why soon. There's one thing, like, with the keywords within the ad group, you have to make sure that they are kind of similar, because the thing that I like the most, and I tend to sort of emphasize, is, like, you see this headline. It says old town rooms, old town rooms, old town rooms. What is the problem here? In this case, the problem is that we do not have the keyword old town rooms in Vilnius itself. It's sort of, like, problematic, because we are promoting old town rooms, but we are not really buying the old town rooms keyword. Rooms, and in fact, I think there's you've seen, I'm clicking on these things. It might look boring, so, like, instead of clicking on one by one, you can just basically set all of them multiply, and change all the parameters, like, you select all of them. Give me a second. Okay. Old town rooms, cheap rooms in Vilnius. Let's also, like, let's edit that one as well, because I want to make it old town rooms in Vilnius. The logic that I want sort of, like, to follow here is that when somebody's looking for old town rooms, or old town rooms in Vilnius, or cheap old town rooms in Vilnius, they will see the ad which has the headline old town rooms, or old town rooms, right? And that makes sense, because basically, like, somebody is searching for a certain keyword, and the headline should feel like something that we're looking for. So now we will make a different ad group, which the great thing, like, behind it is going to basically make a copy of it and paste it And now we have like, this, we can have it the right way, the actual right way. So this way, like, rooms in Old Town, or we can even like, set it Old Town rooms. It doesn't matter like, what you run, what you type, or how you name your campaign or ad groups, because nobody will actually see how they look apart from apart from you. In this case, I will be promoting, let's say, cheap rooms. And and this is a cool thing. You see, like, we have Old Town rooms, cheap Old Town rooms in Vilnius. And I can actually change the keyword text. So what it asks me is like, do you want to find a certain text which you want to replace? And actually, I want to replace Old Town with cheap. And match case, match whole words only, preserve capitalization. Okay. Okay. The problem here now is this one, cheap rooms. So I have to remove one cheap. But this is the only like, case where like, there would have been a slight problem. So now we have like, we have the ad groups for cheap rooms and Old Town rooms, but the ads are exactly the same, right? So cheap rooms have exactly the same headline, Old Town rooms have exactly the same headline. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna do exactly the same thing that I did with the keywords. I click on edit, I click on change ads, and I change my headline into cheap rooms. And I leave like, everything else unchanged, right? And I make changes. That's it. So basically, now the cheap rooms are here. This is a headline, cheap rooms, or I can like, if I want to, I can also like, make another ad group, where, for example, I would make like, cheap rooms in Vilnius, or cheap rooms in, if that's not Old Town, then there can be like, something like what? Karoliniškės, Žirmūnai, Žvėrynas, or like, any other area outside of like, the Old Town. So what else? Let's go briefly like, through these settings and parameters that you want probably to take a look into. The key thing is here, the ad extensions, the thing that we missed in the very beginning, but the thing that we will add right now. So our ads, they look like this, right? This is your standard ad. There's nothing special about it. It's just an ad. And usually many of the ads that are not done by the agencies and are done by simple people, they look something like that. This headline, description line 1, description line 2, and the URL where you actually bring in the person. But the ad extensions enable you to sort of add these additional functionalities which you would not be able to add otherwise. And as I showed you in our previous example, we want this. We want like, not the only ad, not just the ad, but also the locations. We want also the site links, and we also want features like phone number. And this is a great thing because you can actually do that using either campaign or ad group extensions. In most of the cases, when I can, I add either campaign or account level extensions. So these are the extensions that are available for now. And let's go briefly, like through most of them at least. Site link extensions. These are 4 sections that I showed you here, like this one, and that one. These are site links, so adding them enables you to sort of like and let's just add at least one of them. Click on your site link. Your link test is like free Wi-Fi, and if I would be bringing like all the people to standard landing pages, it's great, like in this case, to have additional landing pages for people coming like, and slightly different ones. So if my link test says free Wi-Fi, so there should be something like free Wi-Fi maybe, and the description line should be like free Wi-Fi every day for all customers. Very simple, right? So basically, and the cool thing is that you can also add the start and ending dates and scheduling. So sometimes I even tend to make the site links just for Christmas, or you have the special offer and it ends tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you can actually make this custom schedule, where for example site links are running only for example from 4 o'clock till 6 o'clock in the evening. You have some kind of special deal for people that are coming. For example, if you are running a restaurant and you have a lunch menu, like lunch special, so you want to make sure that this lunch menu is offered to the people before 11, and they see that lunch menu and they come to they come to your restaurant and they buy things and they leave, and after 2 o'clock in the afternoon the lunch special is not really that important. So therefore what you do is you set that it's running till let's say 14 from 11, and that's it. And your site link will not be shown on other dates other than the ones that you selected. So this is one site link that I added. You can also make copies and add additional site links. I recommend adding at least 4 of them. We will not be going for adding all of them, because basically it's just the same, copy the previous one, add new one, and I have at least 4 site links. Therefore, you have at least 4 site links. We can have these 4 sections right there, and click on save. Now we have this is the site link that is already sort of being tested and run. It's running for all the customers and etc. Site link extensions, location extensions. For this, you need to sort of your account. This account does not have any upgraded location extensions. So what I have to do, I have to link my account to Google, not Google Maps, but Google My Business account, and then I will be able to import these locations. And this is what, for example, was done in this case. The accounts were linked, and when they are linked, basically it's showing the nearest one. So if I would be in Kaunas, or you would be in Kaunas, and you would Google this brand, you would see a different location, because this one is the one which is nearest to me where I am currently. Location extensions, right? Call extensions. This is a great thing. It's it allows you to make basically to add a phone number and to allow these people who want to actually contact you to really call you. So let's say Lithuania is where my phone number is, and let's add some phone number. I hope that's enough numbers, and I can either run just on mobile or not. And one thing which you also should note is you can set the schedule where when you want and you don't want the ads to show. So a normal approach, the one which usually everybody who doesn't want to be woken up in midnight does, is they are running their ads from 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning to something like at least 21, or no, I mean, you want to be contacted by your potential clients, but not maybe during the midnight. So unless you are running some kind of business where you want to be contacted at night, that's it. So if I want to add additional phone numbers, I can do that as well. They will be rotating and shown to the potential users. So call extensions. App extensions, if you have an app, you can also allow the users download it. Review extensions, they kind of work, but in Lithuania, it's like, hard to get these reviews working, because in general, you have to find a site where there's a trusted review, like, for your brand. And there's trusted sites, if it's not TechCrunch or Mashable or Verge, it's not really that trusted by Google for real. So review extensions, they work, but it's hard to make them sort of working. Callout extensions, super powerful, like, solution. In this case, callout is this thing. If you note, they're like, 3 dots, 2 dots, dot and dot, and there are, free text which are unclickable, they are inactive, but basically this is additional text which you can also add to sort of as a promoting thing to your client. And the good thing, like, within the callout extensions, it is that they can be set, like, on the whole account. And this is what I love. When I can set things on the account level, I do that, because it means that I will not have to worry about, like, these extensions anymore, because they will just be constantly running. So with the callouts, you have to have at least 3 callouts. So for example, in my case, as I mentioned, it's like, it's a free Wi-Fi. We know that already. A new callout is like, free coffee. And what else could be good? Oh, great. Let's say that's club nearby, or clubs 5 minutes walk, right? So it's like, everything is really close. Everything is free and everything is super close. When I click that, it's like, free callouts appear. You can set more of them, but only 3 of them will be shown. So it's like, you can and you probably should have at least, like, you should probably run, like, something like 3 to 4 callouts. But as I mentioned, some of them will not. So now an interesting part: structured snippets. This is something that's not really accessible, like, in Lithuanian language. But if you're running the ad in English, or French or Russian or something like that, you can do that. So this is the reason. You see that, like, the header is like, English, German, French, Spanish, not Lithuanian for now. But our ads in English, so it's not an issue. So what exactly is great about this? It allows you to add the things or which sort of are structured. You cannot say whatever you want here. If you are an eShop, you can promote, for example, brands like, like Apple, Samsung, Sony, and etc. But we are not an eShop. In our case, we are a location, right? So we are a location, and the good thing is the neighborhood is right here. As we are a location, or destinations could also be done. So for example, neighborhoods, let's make it like Club 1, Club 2, museum something, and also Cathedral Square. Yeah. So I added, like, 4 neighborhoods, and they just show something like that. Like, right on the bottom of the ad, there's going to be additionally neighborhoods, Club 1, Club 2, museum, something, Cathedral Square. So you type it in the right way. You don't type Club 1, Club 2. You type the actual names of the clubs or museums or the locations. Also, you can add, like, for example, as I mentioned, you can have more than one structured snippet. You can also have, like, for example, destinations, right? And but nah, destinations, that's like, for Paris, Berlin, London. What else makes sense? Let's say insurance coverage. So, and it suggests you, like, third-party liability, collision, umbrella, car rentals. So you can add additional structured snippets based on, like, what you want to promote additionally next to your brand, next to your services. What else? The automated ones, they basically are being generated automatically. So if you want to do that, you can. Final great things, which I have not shown you before, but I want to show you because they are honestly awesome. Are these. So now we have cheap rooms, right? And let's make an additional ad group. This is already going like, you know, slightly, not even slightly, but very much advanced. And I think that's like, you know, this actually is already something that you will not usually find on YouTube. So sorry, edit, copy, edit, paste, and we will name this ad group slightly differently. Let's name it, for example, your clubs, let's say, something like that. The thing that I want to show you here is not the keywords, because yes, we should change them to rooms near clubs and etc., etc. But the key thing here is this one, the one which you usually do not have. So you see this, like we have this text ad, cheap rooms. So we change it to rooms near clubs. But now the interesting thing is this one, Vilnius just for €5 per person, special offer. And check this out, ends in, and there's the syntax, the super awesome countdown syntax. When you use the curly braces, the countdown parameter starts showing. And for example, if I want my special offer to end, let's say on Saturday, I just like, you know, I set that it's going to end on Saturday, and the hours could be like, you know, 22:05:15, and countdown starts like, you know, 5 days before countdown ends. An amazing feature behind this is this one. You can set whatever language you want, you know, this countdown to be shown. It can be done like, you know, in English, in Dutch, even Lithuanian, Latvian, Estonian. So let's stick to English now, because English United States, because we are having our ads in English. So I said it, and you see this, like, you know, this is what this ads is gonna show, like, you know, then just for €5 in person, special offer ends in 3 days, and when it's good, then it's gonna be like, you know, 2 days, then it's gonna be 1 day, and then it's gonna be like, you know, hours, like, you know, 12 hours, 7 hours, something like that, and then it's minutes. So basically, it's like, you know, it's interesting and useful, and really